country.
Yeah.
Well, she sneaks around the world from Vegas to Carolina. She's a sticky finger filter from Berlin down to Belize. She'll take you for a ride on a boat to China. Tell me where in the world is
Carmen Sandiego.
Steal their soul in South Korea. Make their naughty cook my uncle from the Red Sea to Greenland. Feel they're singing the blues. Well, they never Arkansas. Still, we come from a jungle. Tell me where in the world is
Carmen Sandiego.
She go from Nashville to Norway, Bonaire to Zimbabwe, Chicago to Czechoslovakia and back. Well, she'll ransack Pakistan and run a scam in Scandinavia. Then she'll stick 'em up down under and go pickpocket Perth. She put the missing misdemeanor when she stole the beans from Lima. Tell me where in the world is
Carmen Sandiego.
Oh, tell me where in the world. Oh, tell me where can she be? Botswana to Thailand, Milan via Amsterdam, Mali to Bali, Ohio. Oh, whoa. Monday through Friday at 5. Well, she flies around the globe, then she'll flim flam every nation. She's a double-dealing diva with a taste for thievery. Her itinerary's loaded up with moving violations. Tell me where in the world is
Carmen Sandiego.
Oh, tell me where in the world is Carmen Sandiego. Tell me where in the world is Carmen Sandiego. Tell me where in the world is Carmen Sandiego. Tell me where in the world is Carmen Sandiego. Tell me where in the world is where can she be? Where in the world is Carmen Sandiego. Tell me where in the world is
Carmen Sandiego.
Watch your back.
All right, it's Friday, September 29th, 2023, and you're listening to Tell It Right podcast. It's finally fucking Friday, Jared. Finally made it. Got through this hellish week, and here we are.
Yeah.
Podcasting.
We are.
We're part of the podcast club. But
It is. It's a good club to be in.
It is. It is. I hope everyone's doing well today. Thanks for joining in. So I'm not sure how this show is going to go because we're going to try to record 2 today. But we're going to recap the ASHOKA Tana series from Star Wars, or Disney Plus Star Wars, whatever you want to call it nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so stay tuned for that. And then afterwards, we got conspiracies coming because I believe today is a full moon. Actually, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe
Friday.
so also.
Friday the 29th of September is a full moon, so we're going to have another episode just dedicated to the conspiracies of the world, people. Hopefully we'll talk about the Denver International Airport, but you never know with us. You never know. So make sure you're hitting that subscribe button so you're getting all the latest episodes here.
So here's what always messes me up with the full moon shit. When they say it's on September 29th, they meant it was a full moon in the morning. So from the 28th into the 29th. And then, so like, because the moon is at its fullest, and it said something at like 3 in the morning or some bullshit. So they always fuck with you. And the same thing with like meteor showers. They're like, oh, it's a meteor shower on the 29th. And they meant like 3 o'clock in the morning on the 29th. And you're like, you're out there on the 29th at night looking around like, who the fuck's this meteor shower?
Where's the meteors? Yeah.
Yeah, it was yesterday.
Meteor showers can be pretty cool sometimes, actually. I don't know if you've ever seen them, but the ones out here where we live in, like Chicago, when we run through one of those plumes of, what do they call it, comets? We get all those little fucking shooting stars and stuff. What I've noticed is they're really delayed. Like, you might see like a few in a couple seconds, but really you're just like sitting out there for like an hour. Like every now and then you see, oh, woo, go past, and you're like, oh, sweet. Yeah. When's the next one coming? And it's like 20 minutes later, another one comes, you know. And then you're looking all over the sky, trying to watch the entire sky the whole time, and yeah, you got to really be in a dark,
and shit.
Right. You really got to be in a dark sky city to really get the full gist of a meteor shower.
The full jizz of the meteor shower.
I mean, I'm sure you could wear night vision goggles and see everything.
Yeah, but that's not like natural. You know what I mean? Like you're just getting the infrared of the stars, whereas with the human eye, you get that realism.
Infrared's really, I mean, the night vision goggles are really cool because like when you are in like a dark area, like where I was in Sedona, and then all of a sudden you look south and you just see like it just looks like bright, like almost like the sun's about to rise over the horizon. Not like that, but it's like it's much brighter because that's where all the lights are because you know it's Phoenix. But it's 100 miles away. So that's what I think is pretty cool. It's just like you're wearing them and everything's lit up down there, and you're like, "Fuck, it's 100 miles away." But if I took the glasses off, I would never guess there was a city 100 miles away. Well, I would. I know there is, but
yeah, we had. I mean, I trained with night vision shit. So
all right, yeah.
That the number one thing with night vision is it completely ruins all depth perception. Like,
yeah, I can.
That's
see
why those, unless you get like the super fancy ones. Like, you remember the movie like Zero Dark 30?
Yeah,
with SEAL guys, and they had the quad tube things.
Right.
So you could get their full range of vision. Number one, and number two.
Oh, that's
that
what
your depth perception is better because you see everything. You're not like this.
Yeah,
You're seeing everything, maybe not a full, like, what are we, 260 degrees, or probably not even that, but maybe like 120, 170 instead of like 90 degrees. There's like different, different generations of night vision too.
No, right, yeah. They're like at 8th gen now, aren't they, or something like that? Or
probably. It probably looks like it's daylight and you're looking at colors and everything.
I've seen cameras that are set up with like a good infrared lens and stuff, and those can make it look like it's like the sun setting or something like that, and it's like it's not exactly lit up, but it's not exactly dark. you know, you can actually see around and make things out. Yeah, it's pretty cool shit.
FLIR systems are cool too.
FLIR. I've heard a lot about that because with that whole UFO thing, they
That's
talk
like
about
heat.
that system. Right, the FLIR system or whatever. I couldn't like detect it or something like that because there was no like heat signature off of it. It was crazy.
Yeah, it's not good for light or to like if you're in a dark room and there's no heat, you're just going to see black.
Right.
know? But when you're trying to find people hiding in a bush, when they're trying to cross the Mexican border, not that I know,
the bush
you can definitely see their heat signatures, even if they're coming out of the cold water and hiding in a bush. So,
but Jared wouldn't know anything about
I
that.
know nothing about that.
He knows nothing about that.
The military doesn't operate on U.S. soil. We can do training exercises, but
you cannot sniff out people in the bush on the border.
I mean,
Elon Musk can.
I can look at them and maybe call somebody on a radio that might be part of the CBP, but I can't physically do anything to them during a training exercise, of course. So,
fucking wild. So, Jared, the other day I was looking through the good old smartphone and reading some articles, and I found out a man named Michael Gabron died.
Yeah.
And I found out that Michael Gabron was Dumbledore in the Harry Potter movies.
Yeah.
So, whole world shattered because... So let me tell you this story. So back in the day, I knew there was a guy. What's his name again? Richard something? Rich Haas? No, I don't know. The guy that originally played Dumbledore.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I thought he only did it for a year and died. And then they brought Ian McKellen on board. Okay? So for all these years, I've always thought it was Ian McKellen as Dumbledore.
Yeah.
Never like thought twice about it until I saw that this Michael Gabron guy died.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're talking about how he played in 6 of the 8 movies. And I'm like, what? I'm like, I knew the first guy died, but like, who the fuck's this dude? And at first I thought he just played in the 6th movie. And so I was thinking like, wait, what? They just gave McKellen a year break off this? Like, what the fuck? You know? And no, it just turns out that actually, I think, and this is why I thought, because back then, Ian McKellen, or whatever, is it McKellen or McKellar?
I think it's McKellen.
Yeah, McKellen. Apparently, he was asked to do the role, but he turned it down because the original Dumbledore, I don't know how it came up, but he made a comment that he never thought Ian McKellen could ever play Dumbledore. Said, no way, can't do it. So McKellen's like, I ain't doing it. Fucking guy's dead, and he put a hex on me. I ain't doing it. So then they pick up Michael Gabron, 82, died the other day. Rest in peace.
Yeah.
But I feel bad that all this time I thought it was somebody else, and not the guy I thought.
Richard Harris.
Yeah, Richard Harris.
Who was the guy who played him. Because what you're probably thinking too, which really kind of messes with you, is that Ian McKellen was Gandalf.
I know that. That's why I thought they put him in that role. Like, dude, you fucking you pull off the Gandalf, you can fucking pull off the Dumbledore, right?
But that might be a conflict of interest too to the fans. You know, like, what are you? Are you fucking Gandalf the Grey, or are you, the headmaster of Hogwarts?
Right. Yeah, I guess that would be really weird if, like, just, you had one act. Well, I mean, that's how, like, Stallone and Schwarzenegger were, but I guess you can't really compare these because they didn't really make sequels to those action movies. They were just one and dones, right? So they weren't really franchised, in other words.
Yeah.
Well, Terminator was, but...
Well, I like, even with those two, because they were, like, the action heroes of the 80s, like, the two number one guys. I like in their movies, though, how they, like, not badmouth each other, but they'll, like, be like, what? So, like, in Demolition Man,
right.
What's her face's character?
Huxley.
Yeah, Lelina Huxley or whatever. She's like,
yeah,
it's in the Schwarzenegger Museum of blah 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 or library, and he's like, Schwarzenegger. And he's like, that guy got a library named after him. You're like, yeah, after the earthquake of blah blah blah. And then if you watch the movie, The Last Action Hero, which I actually love that movie. It's so stupid, but it's actually very entertaining. They go into a like Blockbuster type store, like a Blockbuster Video, and it shows like a cardboard cutout poster for Terminator 2, and it's Sylvester Stallone as the as the Terminator in it, like that bluish hue, like when he's on the motorcycle with a shotgun. That like outline. Okay. He's got the sunglasses with a red eye, but it's Sylvester Stallone. And like, so just the back and forth between them is pretty funny with like, them acknowledging each other as, the two action stars. So,
I just thought of something here since we're talking about those two movies, and you remember, so Demolition Man, they're at the police station, right? And then the lieutenant has his own office, or Huxley has her own office and whatnot, and she's got all the 90s flair and shit.
Memorabilia.
There, right? Yeah. I don't know why my brain keeps thinking, I'm trying to look it up, but I'm not really seeing anything on it, so I'm probably 100% wrong. But I feel like the sets for the police office were the same. Because isn't there a scene where Arnold shows up with the kid and they're at the police station? And I remember they walk into like an office and there's like a bunch of memorabilia up and shit.
It could be.
maybe that's why I'm thinking of it, because it had memorabilia. But like my brain like is trying to tell me no, they were the same office, just different stuff. But yeah, I don't know. Seems set for police station, because it's not uncommon for Hollywood to reuse sets and just change them up just a little bit. Again, the Warner Brothers lot, everybody uses the fucking gazebo and everything. Like, it's the same one. If you see a gazebo and Warner Brothers had something to do with it, it's the fucking gazebo that they have on their lot.
Yeah.
Interesting. We'll have to look that up. If anybody's got an answer, www.tellitrightpodcast.com. Hit the comment section. Let us know.
Well, that and like in the Last Action Hero too, when they're walking into the police station, the guy who played the T-1000, the Liquid Terminator, walks out of the police station.
Huh.
Yeah.
Easter eggs.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that's what's funny about, like, even like the Goonies, right? So the Goonies was directed by the guy who originally did Superman, and then you had what's his fucking face, Christopher Columbus was the writer, and then obviously Spielberg, right? So
I thought he sailed the ocean blue.
What? Oh yeah, that whatever. It actually Chris Columbus did fucking Harry Potter too as well. But yeah, so Chris Columbus did he sold Gremlins to Spielberg, and that was his big break into the industry, doing Gremlins and writing that movie. So then Spielberg brought Chris Columbus, and then I can't remember the guy who directed Superman, but the original one with Christopher Reeves. So they brought both of those two together, and then so if you think about the movie, so you got Chunk makes a comment about the Gremlins, or no, the sheriff does when Chunk calls him in, and he's like, "Oh, what are you gonna? Is this gonna be about a bunch of monsters that if you feed past midnight multiply or something like that?" He's like, "No, I swear it's real. This is real. It's the Fratellis or whatever." And then you got what's his face? Why can't I think of his name now? The big messed up Sloth. So then you got Sloth, and he rips out the Superman T-shirt. So those are like those little Easter eggs from those guys, you know, trying to fit it into that movie and whatnot. You know, just like their own work sort of thing from the past. I like when they do things like that. You know,
Richard Donner.
Richard Donner.
Yeah, he did Superman
shit too. Or he did Conspiracy Theory with Mel Gibson, I think.
Yeah, Scrooged, Lethal Weapon 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yes, that's right. He did those movies as well. So he's done a lot of great movies, realistically.
Yeah, Maverick.
I mean,
not the
oh, right, yeah,
the one with Mel Gibson and
his. Yeah, there's an original TV show. It's Maverick's about I think he's like a gambler. Cheats all the time and shit. I'd have to watch the movie again. I saw it last time I saw that movie. It was in the 90s. It was probably when it fucking came out. Or actually, I think it was at the Dollar Theater back in the 90s.
Radio Flyer he did with Elijah Wood.
Oh, dude, that's a movie I want to fucking watch again. I remember Radio Flyer.
Yeah.
But I think it's a bad story. I think like the dude's dad's like fucking beat the shit out of him. But the kid flies away at the end, right?
Something like that. I think he just dies.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Yeah, that's what I think too.
It's like what do you call it? It's a metaphor at the end. Like he finally flies away, meaning he dies and goes to heaven.
Well, it's like Elijah Wood, like you're seeing it in his perspective, and like he can't like handle the fact that his brother just flew off a cliff in a fucking wagon.
Yeah.
A flying wagon. So his brain just reconstitutes it as now he flew away and we never saw him again. It's like that Community episode the Community liked to do this when the show ended. like Rick and Morty does. They put like a little 10-second sketch in there at the end.
Mm-hmm.
The episode was about them bringing a fucking like giant size hand that like fits on top of a Winnebago. Like they had it strapped on a Winnebago, and they were selling it to some dude in the mountains. And they never made it. So the guy, you just see the scene. He's calling and he's like, "Hi, this is so and so looking to buy the oversized hand. Just wanted to call, make sure you found the place. It's kind of a long driveway, but yeah, I'm just waiting. Just let me know. Call me back." And it turns into this whole fucking ordeal about how he bought an oversized kite and he let his son fly it, and the kite fucking took the son away. And so now the whole deal is he thinks if he can get the oversized hand and watch, like he's got an oversized watch to put on the oversized hand, like that he thinks he could get his son back or something like that.
God.
The best is the wife's like, "Well, all right, I'm going to go. I'm going to say I'm going to walk the dog, but really I'm just never going to come back. And yeah, you do you," or something like that, and then walks away. And he's like, "All right." I don't know. That's what that just reminded me of with the radio flyer, the fucking kid with the oversized kite being taken away.
Richard Donner was an executive producer on a lot of good movies too. The Lost Boys. The original X-Men 2000, X-Men Origins of Wolverine.
Really?
Free Willy 3, Any Given Sunday.
And the other Superman, or, oh no, that's just, never mind.
But,
it shows,
the guy's done a lot. But and he's so, like, who gives a shit? You know what I mean? Like, you wouldn't know it. Because the movies are good, but you just don't care who directed it. I mean, the notable directors that I know, Christopher Nolan, like anything that guy does is crazy, and I just that type of cinematography.
Not Oppenheimer. That is the craziest fucking movie I've ever seen.
Yeah, but you have to base it off a true story. Like that's the worst thing in the world.
It is.
So. One of my favorite movies that he's done. I mean, obviously the Batman's, but fucking Inception. It's got to be one of my top favorite movies. He did Interstellar, that's a mindfuck movie too. That's like a real life, like Rick and Morty, like time.
That's with McConaughey, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that one is fucked up.
Like when he goes, there's this thing in an Easter egg, like there's like this ticking noise when he lands on this planet, and every tick is like 2 years on Earth or some shit.
Yeah, that's right. The ticking noise was supposed to be like a metaphor for every time you heard a tick, so much time passed.
Yeah, elsewhere. It was like 2 months or 2 years on Earth or some shit.
Could you just imagine just like let's just say this happened over like a fucking week span, and you've gone hundreds of years, or like, well, not hundreds, but because his daughter was still alive.
Yeah.
But she was like fucking like 110 or something like that too. I forget. But yeah, like that's, I mean, because like every time you keep coming back, everybody you know is either dying or, you know, doesn't exist anymore because so much time's passed. Yeah, those are crazy movies. It's fucked up.
Which here I'll tie in one thing that's going to bring us. It'll bring us to Ahsoka.
Wait, can I just mention real quick about how Anne Hathaway? I never knew she was married to Peter Dinklage.
Seriously?
Yeah,
the midget guy.
Yeah, I thought that's
no way.
Yeah, they were married, and like they lost the spark unless they were on a TV show together.
They were married? They're not anymore, right?
I don't know.
All right, I'm checking this.
Yeah, fact check this and I'll try to explain what I know here.
And
actually, I don't know much more than that. I just think though Peter Dinklage.
No, she's married to Adam Schulman.
Okay, so I don't know what the fuck I read then. Something about Anne Hath.
I mean, it doesn't mean that she was never married to him because he's married to Erica Schmidt as of 2005.
Oh no, they're making a movie.
Oh,
I'm so stupid. I gotta
damn
read.
it, Mike.
I gotta read articles.
Damn it.
I gotta stop reading the
The headline.
Yeah. All I need to do is read the headline, and I know the whole thing.
Peter Dinklage, Anne Hathaway, banging it out.
Come on, let's be real here. He's a little person, and his last name is Dinklage. Like that to me sounds like a stage name. Like his name's probably like Peter
sure.
Roberts. He's probably Peter like Smith or like I don't know. Not Peter Dinklage.
Peter Pumpkin Eater.
Yeah, Peter. Your last name's too boring. You're never gonna get movies. All right, change it to Dinklage.
Yeah,
because I'm like a little dink.
Yeah,
Dinklage. All right, tie us in, Jared.
Okay, so talking about time elapsing and the speed of light and all this and stuff. So like,
yeah,
I sent you that article or that thing from what's his name, Tyson.
Yeah, Neil
whatever,
deGrasse Tyson.
Yeah, so I've always known about the theory of relativity and all this and that from Albert Einstein, and like there's one thing that I never knew. I guess I just never like looked into it. So there's Einstein's theory of special relativity. So there's actually two.
What?
And the theory of special relativity has to do with time. Right. So like it's actually proven that the faster you travel, the less time actually elapses on Earth, let's just say. So then they've proven this because they flew a plane like backwards up in the air with the atomic clocks on them, and the clock on the plane actually was slower when it landed. And this actually, they have to program this so like with GPS signals and all that we're getting, timing is actually adjusted. I mean, it could be like a minuscule amount. We're talking, hundreds of a second difference. But it still is there. It's still happening. So Neil deGrasse Tyson guy.
Tyson.
He was, let's just call him Tyson. Neil Tyson. He was talking about this, and basically, the faster you get to the speed of light, the slower time elapses for you, but it's almost like going into the future. Right?
Right.
So the way that they've proved this is there's these things that fall out of the atmosphere called mirons, something like that. It's like some type of atom. And the life of this chemical or whatever it is like 2 seconds long, right?
Mm-hmm.
When it occurs in
Not
nature.
long. Okay.
No. So what they did is they put that chemical in the proton or the accelerators, like they have over at Fermilab, and they moved it as fast as they could. No, listen.
No. The whole fabric of the universe is fucked.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So the half-life of this let's just call it a chemical, is 2 seconds. 2 seconds just naturally occurring. When they sped it up, the fastest they sped it up, I don't even know what it was, but before it completely disintegrated, it lasted 6 minutes.
What?
So a 2 second lifespan increased to 6 minutes by increasing its speed it was traveling. So
it travels at ludicrous speed and it fucking extends its life.
Essentially, you never age. So think of it, and this is what like I was like, what the?
Right, you never age, but
you do.
You don't experience.
But you're aging, but you're aging at a slower rate than everybody else is. So this is what got me even further. So like we were talking about night vision, right?
Yeah.
Night vision basically just has like a little mat and photons hit it, that are light,
Right.
and when they hit that I forgot what it actually
The
is,
lens,
but
yeah, whatever.
the lens, let's call it the lens. When it hits that lens, that little mat interprets it, right? Because there's photons are actually atoms of light.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
What he said is, so let's say a star is 30,000 light years away, and you can see the light of that star.
Yeah.
That photon really technically did not come into existence until it hit that mat of the night vision goggle. And when it hit that, it slowed down to become of age, let's just say. Meaning it traveled 30,000 light years to come into existence by that photon hitting your eye or hitting that mat. And he's like, you think of, there's photons flying, hitting the earth all day long. And he's like, think if it traveled 30,000 light years and it's just hitting, somebody's butt that's suntanning outside. That's when it came into existence. So light actually doesn't age. Light actually doesn't age, or doesn't have, like, even if it's 30,000 light years away, it's born that day it actually hits something and stops. So if you travel at the speed of light,
yeah, but he doesn't explain it like it's like another physical substance or like some kind of other.
Yeah, that atom is traveling
when it hits. Okay.
Well, you have to figure too that light it's still a photon, it's still an atom, right? But
he's basically saying, though, in order for it to come into existence, it has to crash into something.
Exactly. Because once that light is being emitted, it's traveling at the speed of light, right?
Right.
Which if you were traveling at the speed of light, which you couldn't because you would just become a different, without some type of
disintegrate
or something. Yeah. But if you were traveling at the speed of light, you would technically not age in comparison to everything else.
Yeah.
That's insane. Like, so what ties this in is talking about ASHOKA with them traveling with those whales.
Spoiler alert, everybody. Sorry.
Yeah, spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert. Ahsoka Tano, Disney Plus, Star Wars.
And like that, it's funny because I was discussing this with my brother the other day. So like traveling, light years and this and that, or like how fast they travel in these, let's call it the Purgles or whatever. Technically, they wouldn't age while they're traveling at warp speed if it was at light speed, because they call it light speed, don't they? And doesn't the Millennium Falcon travel like 0.3 past light speed or something, or 0.5? Isn't that
there's sublight, there's light speed, and then there's hyperdrive or hyperspace. So light speed, basically, the amount. So if something's 100 light years away, it's going to take you 100 years to get there. But like if you're within like a solar system, you're getting around pretty quick.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now that's where hyperdrive allows them to actually, I don't know if Star Wars has like an actual like science behind hyperdrives. But let's just use like Einstein's theory. Basically, creates a wormhole and it travels through it and then pops out at the other end. Yeah,
that's like a gravity drive. What we would consider gravity. But that's so. Technically, if these people are flying around, hopping planet to planet, every time they're at light speed, they're not aging.
That's interesting because
would be the theory.
Yeah, because we talked about it before, how humans have like a higher lifespan in the Star Wars universe. Like, so most humans
like
live
120
up.
years.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And if they're force sensitive, they can prolong that longer. Now, there's a show called Battlestar Galactica, not the original gay one. I'm talking about the really cool one that came out like in the early 2000s.
With Katie Sackhoff.
With Katie Sackhoff and James Olmos. I forget his
James
name.
Edward Almost.
Yeah, James Edward Olmos, guy from Blade Runner.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, actually, whatever, Edward Olmos, him and another character, they were flashing back to when they were back into their planets, and they lived on, like, there were 12 planets, and they were all their names were all like the astrology names, like Virgo and shit like that. So, like, they were at a bar, actually a strip club in general, and, like, the dude's trying to get his buddy to come back and, you know, and command the Battlestar Galactica. And, like, they were talking about age, and he's like, boy, if I was on so-and-so, I would be 21 still. And he's like, yeah, but you're not. So, like, it's kind of funny you say that because, yeah, like, they had faster than light travel, too. So I think humans did live a little longer in that universe as well.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they also had medical technology, which Star Wars does, too, don't get me wrong. But that's actually a really interesting point because you're right. When you get into all that time travel shit, like, the faster you move, time does slow down. Like, so which means you would slow down. But
so
everything around you is moving, is still moving.
Yeah. I mean, our whole sense of time is just dumb, right? I get
humanity. Yeah, it's
But,
humanity filling in a gap. Yeah.
But me living as a person, you know, and obviously things affect me, but let's just take it as it is. The amount of times that I've traveled around the sun has nothing to do with how my body ages.
Right.
You know what I mean? So our sense of, you know, we travel to a different planet and that planet only revolves around the sun, you know, once every 5 years of our time. So that means that I would die at an earlier age. So I'd be, let's say, 20 years old when I die there in comparison to here, which our year is. And our years are just based, again, off astrology. Like, how many times have we moved around the sun? How many times has the Earth rotated on its axis? You know, that's our day and night. Which, I mean, I get it that, again, it affects us as, like, our mental, and, like, we have to sleep at night, and we've adapted over
I think it's one of those things where, like, humanity couldn't be humanity unless they created this false sense of assurance in a way.
Yeah. Like,
you know what I mean?
The sun god.
Yeah, the time god.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, you're right, because, like, I mean, let's face it, people can just die any moment, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, like, there's no set time on your life. It's not the movie Time with Justin Timberlake.
Yeah.
Where when you turn 16, you get like 24 hours and you got to find a job. You know.
Olivia Wilde's smoking hot in that. His mom.
Yeah. She's married to, I keep wanting to say Chris Pep, but no, Chris Pine, right?
I don't think she's married to him. They dated. And then she dated, what's his face?
Yeah, Harry Styles.
Harry's
weird. She's weird.
B-hole style.
But let's get back to the Ahsoka here, because there's a lot of cool things that are kind of, like, I thought it was kind of a dry episode, but I guess when you kind of start getting back into it, there's a lot of things kind of going on. And so let's start with Balin.
Yeah.
So what this fucker's up to. I mean,
I don't know.
I don't know either. But, like, there's some rumors here that, like, so if you remember not the last episode, but the one where they showed up at the planet and they ran into the sisters, or the witches rather, and they said, hey, we sense a Jedi here. And so whatever, they threw their little testicles up in the air that started shooting out beams of lightning, red lightning, and for whatever reason it hovered over to Sabine.
Yeah.
But there's been some people talking about Balin and how there's been some clues like he's not Sith. So
no, he's not.
So some believe that the sisters fucked up and they they labeled the wrong person. And Balin should have been the one that it appeared on, because they think, some people are thinking truly that what Balin's trying to accomplish, he's trying to just end war altogether.
Yeah.
He's pissed off about Anakin Skywalker killing all of his Jedi and everything he believed. Because he makes comments about how I once believed this and shit like that, and then you watch everything burn around you. So he's clearly a survivor of Order 66. Well, that's what I'm hoping we find out. That he was a survivor of Order 66. Somehow made it out. I mean, most of the people that survived it, they were off-world anyway. So, but I'm just curious to find out if he was actually at the temple that day when that happened.
Well, they claim he's a Jedi guard or a temple guard.
Ah. Okay. But that's crazy though, because you wouldn't think he would run away unless it was like he got into a fight and everybody just thought he was dead, so he played along and then got the fuck out of there. I don't know. But yeah, Balin, he's got something up his sleeve, and there's been some other theories too that he's trying to search for Yoda's species. And now they're starting to come, and who knows, maybe they'll write this in, but a lot of people are coming up with the theory that this is where Yoda's from. There's only 3 known of his species in the entire Star Wars canon, or Star Wars that's ever existed. So there's a good chance that Yoda's species is interdimensional, or intergalactic, we'll call it, because they're in a different galaxy. So I'm curious to learn more about that, and we might, just with Grogu and the Mandalorian and all that shit.
But what if, just throwing it out there,
I'm hearing,
what if, because Grogu was at the Jedi Temple, if Balin was a temple guard there, maybe he knows of Grogu and that he escaped, and he's trying to find him to bring back balance to the Force. And now he's at the planet where Grogu would have been born, or would have came from, his species.
Well, we don't know if they came from that planet. Right.
No, but
yeah,
because he knows all like the tales and the legends and this and that, because he always talks about it.
Yeah.
Probably have to go back and just listen to what he says more, like actually interpret what because he talks very cryptically.
Right.
He doesn't say many words, but what he does say has a lot of meaning behind it. You know what I mean? Like, he does talk.
Oh, what the hell was it? His name and the girl's name, they had some kind of, I don't know if it was a biblical connection or some kind of Greek god connection. I'll have to look into that again, but there's something weird about their names that, why they were chosen, I don't know. But he says something too, like about the girl, like, you're meant to be more. So like, he's not training her to be a Sith, because I think that's where it came from. Like, you're gonna be more, So yeah, the Balin arc is very interesting. I'm just kind of curious to see what happens to it, unless they fucking kill him next week.
No, I don't think they're kill him off. I think from what I understand, he's been replaced. So, not in the next episode, but I think there's going to be an ASHOKA 2, or a second season, or
wait, you say there's going to be a new character, a new actor that plays him?
Yeah, I believe so.
Oh, that's gay. I kind of like that guy. How the suit
died.
Look. For reals?
Yeah, Ray Stevenson died.
Who's Ray Stevenson again?
He's Balin.
No, but what else did he play in?
And all kinds of shit.
Oh. Holy fuck. Oh, okay. He played in Thor. I remember you telling me about
he was Thor. He was the Punisher Warzone.
Why are they
Yeah, dude.
replacing him? Because he's fucking dead. Oh, God. All right, so, wow, that's a fucking Morty mind blower right there.
Yeah, right. Plug that one in
Yeah.
to your brain
So,
box.
I wanted to throw this at you. We'll do an hour here, but, like,
Yeah.
I want to throw this out here, okay? So, some are starting to say now that, what's his face? Ezra, that might not be Ezra right now. That Sabine and now Ahsoka has reunited with.
Mm-hmm.
So there's some clues, I guess, with Thrawn when he was talking to the Night Sisters and then talking to Morgan or whatever, telling her, like, we're going to intentionally send him out there or send Sabine to go out with, to meet up with Ezra. So there's this whole, like, theory that the Night Sisters made, like, an Ezra that Sabine would eventually run into. So it could lead to this distraction because I don't know what the deal is with the cargo. Some people think it's dead corpses, and
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I really don't know what's going to be in this cargo, but it's interesting. I thought he said copper, but it's just Thrawn talking with a bunch of dicks in his mouth.
Elon Thrawn.
Elon Thrawn, yeah. Thrawn Musk. But yeah, dude. So I've been thinking about that, and I just don't know, because then they're starting to pull because he didn't want to touch the lightsaber. Here's where I'm at with the lightsaber. Like, you haven't had it for fucking 10 years. Why do you need it now?
Yeah.
Because I've been kind of interpreting Ezra is, like, he's not a Jedi anymore. He's more of this, like, I mean, I'm sure he's still considered a Jedi, but if we remember from Rebels, like, him and Kanan ran into a lot of these, like, beings, these force-sensitive beings and stuff that were wise and had a lot of wisdom. I just feel like that's what he's becoming. Like, he's more or less, like, he's not a Jedi, but he's more or less this, like, force guru. Like, this force-sensitive, like, I don't know. Like, maybe I'm just saying this because he looks like Aladdin. I don't know, but, like...
He's become the blind Chinese guy from Rogue One.
But better. I mean, he actually
now he
has...
can wield the
like,
Force.
Yeah, he can actually wield the Force. Where that
But
dude
he's like
just,
a monk. Like a Force.
Yeah. That's kind of what I'm, like, feeling like. Because, like, Star Wars Theory made a comment to somebody saying, like, how he wasn't, like... He doesn't think Ezra is, like, a powerful Jedi. He doesn't think he's, like, really that significant. But he's significant in other ways. Just not with being, like, an actual Jedi. But, like, yeah, when he, took him and the sea whale, or the space whales, and took Thrawn away, like, he knew that was his, like, he had to do this. Like, this was his last stand, and I think he's just been enlightened, but we might find out that he's actually in a fucking jail cell, because that's the other thing they're saying. They're thinking that, did he really get away because they were all together and then the space whales took him away? Like, did he get away? Probably not. They probably caught him. But then again, it's Ezra. He's a little rat like that where he can get himself out of shit. So it's hard to say. But
yeah, I think there's a lot. I while I can see that theory, I don't know. I don't think.
Yeah.
So everything that they do has to be worthy of their time in telling the story in a short period. And to, like, switch it up like that, maybe. Maybe they've got something, behind their sleeve. But I think even if, let's say they did do that, there's so many other facets of this show going in so many different ways that it would even jumble the story further. Because now we have to worry, like, what's going on with Hera? Like, you know, because she's a completely different side of the story, you know, and then you bring into that her son Jason, and he's force sensitive. So like, are they going to train him into being a force? Then you got Sabine Wren. Is she going to continue training with the force? You got Ahsoka, which this whole main story is about, you know. And now if you were to, and you've got the Night Sisters, you've got Thrawn, and now you've got, you know, and then you throw in this curveball with what's his face. Like there's just too much going on that they need to just focus on telling the one part of the story. Like they've gathered everything, and now let's execute. And I get it; they're going to have a movie, and there's going to be more, you know, probably a season 2, but we're not. That would take too much time to explain too many facets of the same timeline in one show. You know, you're going to have a spin-off, like, and this is supposed to bring in the Mandalorian at some point because it's during the same time frame. But here goes another thing. So when they're traveling through light speed,
I wanted to bring go. I think what you're going to say
with a Purgle. Yeah. Somebody said that they saw Mando's ship as like a, what do you call it? Like a
passerby
shadow, like a shadow in the light speed as they're traveling. Because if you remember in season 3, he saw the Purgle travel.
Yeah. Right, yeah, Grogu looked over.
Yes. So I think somehow this is going to tie together.
Right, and that's why that was another reason why I thought it was kind of a credible thing to think that there's a search for Yoda's race, because that scene where he looks over, he sees the Purgles, when Mando and Grogu are traveling in light speed, and you see those little creatures there. And so I thought he was getting scared by him, but I don't think, now that I think about it, I think he was just staring at him like, almost like, hey, I remember you guys.
Yeah. So like maybe that time frame that was happening is the same time frame that Ahsoka was traveling to this place.
Yeah, I think that's very good, because then when you get back into Mando, they have that meeting and they're talking about how Thrawn's going to come. You know, the rumors are he's coming back, and then Moff Gideon's like kind of like, you guys are fools. Like, you really think he's coming back? Like, he ain't coming back. He didn't say something like that, but he was kind of like scoffing at him, like, you guys are fucked. Think about right now, we're all right here. Thrawn's nowhere to be found. You know.
Yeah.
But that's where my next theory is. I think this is where the First Order is going to begin. I think it begins with Thrawn. Unless there is something out there that says no, but I think first, because you said it yourself in that same meeting in Mandalorian, the red-haired dude from the, what do you call it, the Skywalker saga things, that guy that was part of the First Order, you said that was his father in Mandalorian, right? Because they had the same last name or whatever.
Yeah.
So that's
General Hux.
Yeah, Hux. General Hux, right. So I'm thinking the First Order is gonna start rising, or we'll see. But Thrawn is just a crazy. I've been watching like the Rebels again, and like, I guess Thrawn's superpower is his brain. Like,
he's super smart.
He doesn't need the Force because of his race. And like, his race is like kind of close, like they're in the uncharted section, right? Of something this galaxy. That. Yeah, like near Exegol.
Which would be kind of tied to the Sith.
Right. So I don't know either. But I know they brought Anakin back.
Yeah, that was kind of neat. And then he brought up Ventress, and when he was talking to her, he was like, "Okay, So now I guess that makes her canon or some bullshit. But he was sitting there and he's talking to Ahsoka as the hologram, and he's
Right.
like, the droids are one thing, but at any point in time, you could encounter General Grievous or Count Dooku or Aja Ventress or whatever her name is.
I didn't catch that, but I heard the other two. Yeah.
Yeah. So the Ventress is another character that comes up.
Right, because that's who
When he's-
attacks her when she runs away, right? And she's in the lower levels of Coruscant. That bitch comes
Yeah.
out of nowhere and tries to bring her in.
Yeah, the creepy looking bitch.
Here's the funny thing, though. So, she mentions that there's over 30 different holograms
Mm-hmm.
that she has. So, which means there are 30 opportunities for fucking Anakin Skywalker to show up again.
Yeah.
Which is kind of cool. I like that they're bringing him back, and I like that it works too. He's not too old, so he can pull it off.
Yeah.
And then, it's cool as fuck that he's in his Jedi armor, too.
Yeah, from the Clone Wars. Because you never saw that live action. Now, if they did a live action Obi-Wan with his fucking clone armor, that would be bad as fuck.
Well, I think Lucas said something like, if I had to do the prequels again, or at least that last one, he'd probably have him in the armor.
Mm-hmm.
But he stuck with the original Jedi attire. But technically they were warriors, so they probably should have been in armor. So
Yeah. I don't know. Guess we'll have to see. I am excited for this. I hope it's we find out that it's a 2-part.
yeah,
or
that
something.
would be cool.
Because like I said, there's just so many different things going on that I just don't think that it's going to leave us on a cliffhanger for sure, no matter what. But with how many questions being asked,
Yeah, I definitely feel this is more intense than Mando in some cases, because it's just like you said, there's a lot of stories, and man, it's just I'm almost anticipating the last episode to kind of be a letdown. But this is actually one that Filoni's going to be directing, so so far those have been good. I think he's done, out of all of them, he does 3. So it's the first one, and then I think he did the one in the middle, and now he's going to do the last one.
Yeah, and then he has a movie.
Right. Well, otherwise, Deborah Chow is doing all the directing. He's doing all the writing, though. So Dave Filoni's written all this, and it's his vision. But they do that with the series. They always have other directors fill in, and then he'll direct the ones that he thinks are the big ones. I take it. I don't know.
Yeah, he likes the big ones.
He loves the big ones. He loves fucking wolves. He's so
As long as fucking Takata Wadi doesn't get a hold of it, I think we'll be okay.
He probably won't. I think he came up with an
I think he's
idea for
done.
Star Wars. Yeah, and they said, get the fuck out. So,
Fucking guy. that Jojo Rabbit movie? I didn't know he filmed that. Directed it.
no.
Yeah.
I've never watched it.
Jojo Rabbit. You've never watched it?
That's with Keanu, right?
No. Jojo Rabbit. It's about these it's during World War II.
Oh,
It's
they're
the Hitler youth. And everybody it's like a comedy about it. And everybody's just going around and they're like, Hail Hitler, Hail Hitler, Hail Hitler, Hail Hitler.
That
Hitler.
is New Zealand's best right there, people.
I told you, that's why I don't like him either. 'Cause he's
Scarlett
fucking from New
Johansson
Zealand.
played in it.
Yeah. And then that one funny guy, I can't think of his name.
Oh my god, he did it so he could play Hitler. He played Hitler in
He
the
did.
movie.
He did. It was awful. That's how messed up that guy
Oh,
is.
that guy from fucking, what's his name? From Iron Man 2.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
guy that plays Justin, what's his name? He's the other competitor to Tony Stark. I can't believe
Yeah.
he plays in this.
What's his name? Sam Rockwell.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a messed up movie, but you should watch it. It's pretty funny.
Maybe. If he's killing fucking dogs in it, I want nothing to do with it because he's a fucking
I don't think
dog
he kills
killer.
any dogs.
He loves doing it in the Hunt for the Wildebeest. That fucking prick. God damn him. That pisses me off so much. Whatever. All right, Jared. I think that's the end of this show here. So everybody, thanks for tuning in. Greatly appreciate your support. Make sure you're hitting that subscribe button. Check us out on www.tellitrightpodcast.com. Leave us some comments. We asked a few questions, and I forgot them already, so make sure you answer those and let us know. But otherwise, shit's shit. That's it.
Peace.
Peace. That's our show. Please make sure to subscribe to catch all the latest episodes of Tell It Right Podcast. Thank you, and we'll see you next time.